As you know, London is the capital of the United Kingdom of Great Britain and Northern Ireland, England. In addition, London is the largest city located in the British Isles. Its area is 1,706.8 square kilometers. The population of the megalopolis is over 8 million people. It is noteworthy that the city ranks 17th in the world in terms of population, second in Europe and first in the UK and the European Union. The importance of London in the economic, political and cultural life of the country is very great. It is home to one of the world's largest international airports, Heathrow, the river port on the Thames, and a number of world-famous attractions, the complex of the Palace of Westminster with the Clock Tower, Westminster Abbey, the Tower Fortress, St. Paul's Cathedral and a number of others. The location of London is also noteworthy because the city lies on the Prime Meridian, which was also named Greenwich, in honor of the name of the area it crosses. Westminster is the historical and administrative centre of London. As for the business centre, it is located in the City District. The inner city is the name of the oldest part of the capital of Great Britain. It was this part of the city that suffered most from fires at one time. It houses the Stock Exchange, the Bank of England, the Town Hall, the Mayor's Residence, St. Paul's Cathedral, the Central Criminal Court and many other administrative buildings and cultural sites. The place of destroyed buildings nowadays is occupied by modern structures made of concrete and glass. The neighborhood of the old style and the new one not only looks contrasting, but also shows that the city is currently living an active full-fledged life. In the eastern part of the British capital is the world-famous Tower of London, which in the 11th century was founded by William the Conqueror as a fortress. Over time, the building was rebuilt more than once, and it served as a royal residence, and after that, a prison. At the moment, the tower houses a museum, which, among other things, stores British coronation regalia. Not far from the fortress, across the Thames lies Tower Bridge, the most beautiful in London. If you go to the south bank of the Thames on Tower Bridge, you can see the Gothic Cathedral, which was built in 1206. The modern South Bank Arts Centre is located here, as well as large concert halls, Queen Elizabeth Hall and the Royal Festival Hall, Lambeth Palace, the residence of the head of the Anglican Church, the Archbishop of Canterbury. To the west of the city stretches the Strand Street, which leads to the notorious Trafalgar Square. The latter was planned in 1829–1841, and in its center there is a 60 meters long Nelson column dedicated to the victory over the Franco-Spanish fleet at the Battle of Trafalgar, 1805. On the square there is a modest church built in the Gothic style. Concerts of ancient music are regularly held in the church. Built in 1834–1837, the National Gallery lies in the northern part of Trafalgar Square. It houses one of the world's richest collections of European paintings. The collection includes some of the most valuable collections of masters of such schools as Flemish, Dutch, Italian. Nearby is the National Portrait Gallery, which presents more than 4,500 drawings, sculptures, paintings depicting famous people of Great Britain, among them kings, scientists, poets. Through the Admiralty Arch, along St. James's Park in the direction from Trafalgar Square, the Mall Street passes. On the other side of it, a little closer to Pall Mall Street, lies St. James's Palace, which was built in the 11th century. The cathedral, being a landmark in itself, is also known for the fact that it was here that Karl spent his last days. The Duke and Duchess of Kent currently reside here. The mall leads to Buckingham Palace, the main royal residence. This palace was built later than all the buildings in the old part of the city, in the first half of the 19th century. The square in front of the palace is decorated with a monument to Queen Victoria, made of white marble and gilding. During the summer, part of the halls of Buckingham Palace is available for tourists to visit. And yet, year-round the palace performs the functions of a dwelling and a study of the British monarchy. Westminster Abbey, located east of Buckingham Palace. It is one of the oldest and most valuable architectural monuments. Westminster Abbey is the tomb of the kings of England, as well as its state and church servants, famous and prominent people ch. Dickens, I. Newton, etc. On the River Thames, not far from Westminster Abbey, stands the Parliament Building, the Palace of Westminster, rebuilt over several centuries, the beginning of construction 1042. The Parliament acquired its current appearance in 1840–1888. It was then that the famous building with a high clock tower, 97 meters, was built, in the new Gothic style. A large bell, Big Ben, was placed on the tower, and a 102-meter Victoria Tower was also built nearby. Covent Garden. This is a place where a huge number of shops and theaters are concentrated, among which is the famous Royal Opera House, where Edmund Kean, the famous actor genius, performed in 1803. To the north of Covent Garden, in the so-called University Quarter, is the British Museum. Its huge collections of exhibits include samples of ancient art, as well as art from the East, from India, China and other countries, Rome, Egypt. The museum also has collections of stamps and coins, one of the richest libraries, a collection of autographs of celebrities and more. The parks of the capital of Great Britain are also an attraction and an integral part of it. London has a large number of cozy, small squares, among which the main ones stand out: the Royal Parks of St. James, Kensington Gardens, Hyde Park, Regent's Park, Green Park. Each of them has its own unique attraction. In Regent's Park, London Zoo; in Hyde Park, Speaker's Corner. Every week people who want to practice oratory gather here. In the famous Kensington Garden, the Royal Palace hosts an exhibition of historical costumes. Windsor is located on the banks of the Thames, 34 kilometers away from the capital. Its main attraction is Windsor Castle, which was rebuilt in the 11th and 16th centuries. The building is one of the most ornate buildings, one of the oldest residential castles, which currently serves as a summer royal residence. There is also the Chapel of St. George, 1474-1528, built in the best traditions of late Gothic. In the eastern part of the environs of the capital lies Greenwich, the main attraction of which is the Royal Naval Academy, the National Maritime Museum and the Observatory, founded in 1673, through which the zero meridian conventionally passes, separating the eastern and western hemispheres. The London Underground is one of the oldest in the world. It has existed since 1863, and is called among Londoners, Tube. The famous Madame Tussauds Museum is also located in the capital of Great Britain. One of the largest museums is the Historical Museum of London. Its exposition demonstrates the centuries-old history of the capital of Great Britain, since the reign of Julius Caesar. All of the above and many other attractions of London, as well as planetariums and dungeons, will not leave any tourist indifferent.